Morning, happy Valentine's Day. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Thanks so much for starting off your day with us here on Up with KREM. Let's go ahead and get you ready for the day ahead, though, by taking a look at the forecast with meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Because, Thomas, there's way too much blue on that weather map behind you right now.
There needs to be some more pink and
red.
That's
what we're looking for.
I might have to put that filter in front of the graphics for today. Because, I wish I could offer a bit more red, but I might have to do that manually because it is frigid outside this morning. It is down to 25 degrees in Spokane. That is the coldest we've seen in the last couple of days. It's colder than yesterday, but like yesterday, we also have some fog concerns, especially along the I-90 corridor and the lower elevations of Spokane County, which are under dense fog advisories for today, but there are also winter weather advisories for tomorrow. So two types of advisories will cover these next two weather hazards in the next 24 hours, but simply put, it's fog today and snow tomorrow.
So too, happening today, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown is calling a news conference in a matter of hours. She is set to address public safety amid a rise in deadly police shootings. She will also talk about the ongoing searches for a new fire chief, police chief. That press conference will begin at 11 o'clock this morning.
It's a car place, and it really should be a people place.
A vision to change how people think of Northeast Spokane and the Market Street corridor. Today, the North Spokane corridor is more than 70% complete.
When the freeway opens, the hope is to connect communities together and alleviate traffic on the arterials. And this will help places like Hilliard feel more like a destination for businesses and homes. Its name is the United Building.
So it's become this really great meeting point. People meet here, they get coffees here.
Bringing people together is exactly what they do.
This is a place that you can go for food and go for a drink and go for a stroll after your meal and all of those things.
You might think this trendy spot is in the Perry District or Kendall Yards, but it's not. It's here, in the heart of Hilliard.
I'm stunned by this community. It is an incredibly tight community. It's an incredibly proud community. It's an incredibly engaged community.
Jesse Bank is the executive director of the Northeast Public Development Authority, also known as a PDA. While the city and county typically focus on the big picture of development in the region,
whereas a PDA can just look at its boundaries and say, what do we need here to make this work?
There's a PDA for the University District and in the West Plains, where the growth and development is visible. The Northeast PDA was originally created to focus on the industrial land east of the freeway in anticipation of the North Spokane corridor opening. It's since expanded to include Hilliard and the Market Street corridor.
And this is still a federal truck route, which will then switch over to the freeway once the freeway is fully open. But it's really been treated as a place you go through and not a place that you stop.
Some people say it's stunted progress in the area.
It's difficult to do that when you can't hear yourself talk when trucks are whistling by at 45 miles an hour.
This will soon change once the North-South corridor opens and alleviates some of that traffic.
It is isolated up here. It's not completely easy to get up here. The connection down to 90 will make it much, much easier to access this area and to access points north.
We know that'll help businesses, but what about home prices?
So here's your primary bedroom in here.
In 2004, Teresa Janes began selling real estate, not long after the freeway broke ground.
A house like this that we're in today, that's approximately $1,500, would have sold for around $150,000.
And what about today?
And today, now you're looking anywhere from $375,000 to $400,000.
Increasing sale prices are something we're seeing in all of Spokane. It's not specific to homes next to the freeway, at least yet.
But I think it will over time, especially when you have these other developments that are coming in the pipeline.
So her advice to home buyers looking in this area?
Get in now while you can, because values are just going to increase over time.
Especially with how fast the neighborhood is growing.
We have a lot more coverage on the North South Freeway. To learn more, head to KREM.com or the KREM 2 Plus app. If you don't have KREM 2 Plus, it's free to download right now on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire.
We continue our week-long coverage of Boomtown, where we dig into the impacts of the growing population here in the inland Northwest.
So if you live on the east side of Lake Coeur d'Alene, the response time for a medical emergency just got a lot faster. The East Side Fire District bought its first ambulance and is building a new fire station to accommodate the community's growing population. The district was relying on Coeur d'Alene ambulance services, giving them a 30-minute or more response time. But now the response time is down to 10 minutes.
We can get a patient going to the hospital much quicker than it historically has been, and if we need a medic, we could intercept on the way to the hospital and they could get on here and go with us.
Tonight at 6, our Amanda Rowley gives an early look at the new $1 million fire station. Well, this morning results are still coming in for Washington's special election. Several multi-million-dollar levies and bonds are on the ballot for school districts all over eastern Washington.
So let's dive right into the results of the major races in our region. First, Spokane Public Schools is asking voters to approve a $200 million bond to replace and renovate a few schools. Right now, early results show that 54% are voting yes, while 46% are voting no. It's important to note here, bonds, though, which support buildings, need 60% in order to pass. So right now, it's not meeting that threshold.
Also on the ballot is a nearly $100 million levy for Spokane Public Schools. Right now, Proposition 1 is passing with 55% of voters saying yes, 45% saying no. Now, unlike bonds, levies just need a simple majority to pass. So right now, again, this one is passing. The results are a bit of a mixed bag, though, for Spokane Public Schools. Between the bond and the levy, hundreds of millions of dollars for programs and buildings are now at stake.
And at least right now, the bond doesn't have the votes it needs to pass. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley was at an elections watch party last night with Superintendent Dr. Adam Swinyard and has reaction from the early results.
This room is full of Spokane Public Schools bond and levy supporters, and they have some mixed emotions here at this election watch party. Initial results on one hand show strong voter support for SPS's levy, but not quite enough support for the bond. The district's $200 million bond would modernize and replace some of the oldest schools in the Spokane Public Schools district, including Adams Elementary. It needs 60% voter approval to pass. Now, the 3-year levy replacement will allow the district to keep classroom sizes low, keep extracurricular programs and staffing. It needs 50% approval to pass. Superintendent Dr. Adam Swinyard is grateful for voter support of the levy, but his staff will be watching the bond very closely.
We're appreciative of the ongoing support of our levy. The community continues to make that investment in our schools. We believe that our bond plan is important for 57 schools and over 5 million square feet of space. So we'll definitely want to be listening and seeking to understand what the right next step will be.
The Citizens for Spokane Schools helped campaign for the levy and bond. They're proud of their work, but also grateful for voter support. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Our election coverage continues all this morning. For the very latest, you can text the word election to our number 509-448-2000, and we'll send you a link with the latest results right to your phone. They'll also be scrolling all this morning at the bottom of your screen.
At 6:09, it is still very much foggy across downtown Spokane. There's the latest look along I-90 and Freya Street. Low visibility, but the traffic moving smoothly at the moment. Just be cautious on any bridges which might be collecting some of that ice from the freezing fog. We're also keeping an eye on snowfall within the next 24 hours, more for a tomorrow morning event, as things are quiet for now, but the storm system's to our south, and it's going to be a low pressure area and warm front, which is starting to move in from the south. So that's why our southern areas, which are closer towards the storm, are expecting more snow by Thursday morning. But for today's day planner, of course, it's Valentine's Day. We do get above the freezing mark, but only into the mid-30s during the afternoon hours after this cold morning. Late night snow, probably not until about 10 o'clock this evening, and then into Thursday morning, we'll see a couple inches of snowfall. We'll have the latest on how much you can expect in your hometown, all coming up in a few minutes.